Jai Shri Krishna. Today I would like to speak about astrology. In this, today's subject will be planets and their characteristics. Basically, in astrology, planets are the basic foundation of astrology, and where they move, in which sign they move, and what effects they give in each sign in each house is what astrology is in the beginning stage. So today we will know about the planets and their characteristics and the signs and their characteristics. So the planets are basically grouped into three groups. The first group is the luminaries, so the sun and the moon, Surya and Chandra. And the second group is Rahu and Ketu, the north lunar node and the south lunar node, or the dragon's head and the dragon's tail. There is a story about the Sudarshana Chakra in which Vishnu cut Rahu, a demon who also wanted to taste the nectar at the time of the churning of the ocean. So Vishnu knew that it should not be given to the Asuras, but still this Rahu got to know that Vishnu was trying to trick the Asuras. So he came and transformed himself into a Deva and sat in the Deva group. At that time, the sun and the moon told that Rahu is not a Deva, he has made himself into a Deva. But by then, Vishnu had already given just a drop of nectar to Rahu. Rahu drank it, and half of the drop went till his neck and the other half of the drop went to his body. Then, the moment that happened, Vishnu took his Sudarshana Chakra, cut off Rahu into two parts, his neck, and because Rahu had already tasted the nectar, he didn't die. His head flew up, and then always for revenge against the sun and the moon, he comes and gobbles the sun, causing an eclipse according to the Vedic studies. And Ketu was his other body part, and because the nectar, half of the drop had gone to his body, he didn't die, and he also eats up the sun and the moon in some intervals, but the sun and the moon come out through the crack of the neck. So this is the basic story of Rahu and Ketu. Then there are the Panchagrahas, which are the Kuja or Mars, and Kuja Guru who is Jupiter, Shani Saturn, and Buddha Mercury. And one last one is there, Venus or Shukra. So these are the planets which are called the Panchagrahas, and they move in each one of the signs and give their effects like that. Each of the planets have their own effects. And again, there are two varieties of grahas. One is the benefic grahas and one is the malefic grahas. The benefic ones are Jupiter and Venus and Mercury associated with benefics. Only if Mercury is with Jupiter or Venus, then only it is counted as a good graha. Otherwise, if it's with the other malefic grahas, which I shall explain, then it becomes bad. So a full moon is also counted as a full moon or waxing moon. That means from the Amavasya to the Purnima is called the waxing moon. From Purnima to Amavasya is called the waning moon. So if it's a waxing moon, which is from small to big, it's good. The waning moon from big to small is bad, according to our Vedas. So next thing is that the malefic grahas are Sun, Mars, because Sun is a Krura graha, not totally malefic, because he's the father of all living entities. So he can't be a malefic, he's just a strict father, like that. So Kuja or Mars is a very angry graha, and actually shows murder, killing and weapons and destruction, killing of people and such dangerous items. So it's a bad graha. Then Shani. So it is also, all of you know that Shani is a very dangerous graha, and Rahu and Ketu, of course, because they were demons, and Rahu is always like that because he always has the revengeful attitude and he promotes desire. Ketu always has that detached attitude, so he always is close to spirituality. So now we will start the characteristics of each graha. Sun especially signifies father, the soul in every living entity, and also he signifies good things happening around the world and political power and such things. Also, he shows power in action, power in everything, and brings a person up to a high level of political administration. Also, the sun, if in his exaltation sign, gives very good effects from the government, and governmental happiness will also be given. But if he is in his debilitation sign, which is Libra, then he will give very dangerous effects which will destroy one's character and will make him a very evil person. So Sun is sattvic natured and he is a spiritualistic graha. But still, he sometimes gives krura phalas. So that's why he is shown as a krura graha or a malefic graha in our shastras. Next comes the waning moon. The waning moon is a bad moon actually, but it gives good effects in bad houses according to Jyotisha Navanitam. So the next one is Mars. Mars, I already told that it's a very dangerous graha. It causes killings, murder and exploitation by weapons, wars, and all of these are caused by Mars. Then comes Shani. Shani is also a very dangerous graha, but sometimes it's good because when it transits over the 3rd, 6th or 11th houses, it's a good planet. But when it transits over the 12th, 1st and 2nd houses, it's called Sade Sat or 7.5 Shani. That is a very dangerous Shani. And then Ardhashtama Kalyani Shani. That one is more dangerous than Ashtama Shani Kalyani. So these are the different 4 ways of studying the Saturn Graha. So then Saturn Graha actually is a very kind of a defeatist Graha. It causes strange problems in the ulcer and causes like it's a wicked graha, a very wicked graha which always wants to do bad things, and in Kali Yuga especially it's more powerful than Jupiter because Jupiter is the it shows goodness. It shows the sattvic nature, whereas Saturn shows tamasic nature. In Kali Yuga, we have tamasic more, so Saturn is more stronger than Jupiter and is influencing each one of us with its Saturnine qualities. In Western astrology, we also have Uranus and Neptune as 2 grahas. So Uranus actually is kind of just like Saturn, and Neptune also has the same tendency like Saturn. People who are born under these 2, Uranus and Neptune, they will always have a kind of a subconscious mind. Their mind will be working at the plane of subconsciousness. So they will not have that much attention to what is going on around them, but they will have a subconscious attention slowly going towards spirituality or in other places. Sometimes they can be too rash and sometimes they can be very light and good. So this is the qualities of a Uranus, and it's also a very scary malefic graha, and Neptune has somewhat like that. So in Sanskrit there is no name for Uranus and Neptune. But in Bhagavatam, it is also mentioned that Priyavrata, Dhruva's uncle, had measured from the earth to the Neptune how many kilometers it is. Like that, he had made a treatise on it. So that is different science. But now coming to the point, in Vedic astrology, Uranus is ruled by Indra and Agni, and Neptune is ruled by Varuna, or the god of waters. Then comes the good grahas. These are Jupiter. So basically Jupiter is a very sattvic natured graha. It always symbolizes studies, scriptures, and a huge place of wealth and some diamonds strewn around. It also symbolizes goddess Lakshmi and goddess Parvati and Lord Vishnu also. So it's a very good graha and it always brings about good things in people's lives. But if it's retro or retrograde, so retrograde is a motion in which if you are standing on Earth, sometimes some planets will be seen as if they are going backwards around the zodiac. When in its normal position, it goes forwards. Rahu and Ketu are always backwards and Sun and Moon are always forwards. But other planets can become forward or backward. But when Jupiter is retrograde or going backward, actually no planet goes backward, it all goes front except Rahu and Ketu. But from Earth, when we view it, it looks like it's going backward around the zodiac. So like from Aries to Taurus. But we do from Aries to Taurus, they do from Taurus to Aries. Anti-clockwise. We do in the clockwise direction. So now we shall move on to the next graha, which is Venus. So Jupiter is a good graha as it promotes wealth in a person and it brings up status and it makes people very good in nature, and it's a sattvic graha. It also symbolizes gold. Sun symbolizes copper and Sun symbolizes copper and Moon symbolizes a pearl, or Sun symbolizes ruby, Moon symbolizes a pearl, and Mercury which is also called as Buddha, which symbolizes green or emerald gem. Otherwise, Mercury also symbolizes other small metals or like aluminium, gold and such things. And Jupiter symbolizes the best quality of gold. Venus symbolizes Shukra symbolizes pearl or any white metal or graphite, and then Shani symbolizes a black metal or anything like that, and Rahu symbolizes Gomedha, a kind of a gem, and Ketu symbolizes cat's eye. There's a gem called that, cat's eye. It should be 3, 6 or 11 grams for it to have good effects. When any planet is in their debilitation sign, they generally give bad effects. So therefore, if you wear these kind of gems and buy these gems and stud it on gold or the prescribed metal, those effects, bad effects, just vanish. Now we should move on to Venus, the next one. Venus is a kind of a planet which is fully towards desire, whereas Jupiter is fully towards spiritualistic desire.